It's the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com, and we're taking a look at Saturday stakes races, normally across the country, but on this weekend before the Derby, it's just really slow nationally. So what we're going to do is focus in on Churchill Down's opening night card. I'm Tom Leach, along with Keeneland's Director of Simulcasting, Jim Goodman, and we'll take a look at the Grade 3 Derby trial and also give you our thoughts on the late pick 4 for the opening night card at Churchill Downs a week before Derby Day. So Jim will go to the 8th race, and it's the Grade 3 Derby trial at a flat mile for 3-year-olds. No Derby points out of here. You've got, I think, Cheetu, I saw, is going to scratch for Bob Baffert, and then he'll make a Derby decision on him. So that leaves Bayern as Baffert's color bearer in here. Who did you go with?
I went with Bayern. I think the mile distance suits him perfectly. He didn't really care for the distance, the mile and 8 at Oaklawn. He went off as the favorite in the Arkansas Derby, so I can't imagine him not being the favorite in the Derby trial. With Cheetu scratching out, I think the only horse in here that looks like he could run with him is Friends with K-Mill coming out of the Santa Anita Derby. And if you look at, he got beat by 12, but he got beat by California Chrome, Opportunity, and Candy Boy. So that's 3 pretty good horses to run behind. So I think the other horse that I like in here, coming out of a Keeneland race, is Brereton Jones' Myositis Dan. The horse won here a couple weeks or opening weekend by 2.5, and this is a huge step up in class, though. So I think to play the race, I'd take Bayern on top with hopefully Myositis Dan closing for second.
I like Bayern a lot in here. I'm guessing this is maybe a prep for the Preakness. If he wins this and looks good doing it, maybe they wheel him back into Preakness. And I think anybody that goes with Bayern probably gets cooked. So I'm looking for Bayern over horses that are going to be running late. And so it's Bayern to win. I'll use him over Myositis Dan. The 10, the 9 spot for Nick Zito, I think, could bounce back and run well, getting back to a one-turn. And then Matador for Mark Cassie. All of those horses look like they should be coming from off the pace. And anybody that goes with Bayern maybe gets cooked, and one of those horses picks up the pieces for second, is how I would play the Derby trial. Let's go to the 7th race, which starts the late pick 4. And it's a turf race, and none of them have much experience overall, and even less on turf, other than a couple of horses on the outside. So where did you land in the 7th?
Yeah, I think it's wide open, and I think the horse that has the best form on turf is Belmont, with Rosario, with Great Minds, the 10 horse. So I would take that horse on top of Bourbon Sense for Kellen Gorder, claimed off Chad Brown, has a shot. I think Notability has a shot. I think Joyful Moments has a shot. So in the pick 4 here, I would take those horses plus Franklin, a horse coming out of a race for Mike Maker. Rosie Napravic picks up the ride and didn't run badly in the maiden special weight at Keeneland, and now switches back to the turf where he ran okay at Gulfstream Park. This is a wide open race, I think. So I would go 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 horses in this leg. In the next race for Derby trial, I would single Bayern. Then I would go all in the 3rd race, in the 9th race. I couldn't separate anything there. And then in the last race, I would also single the 11. So I've got a kind of a strange ticket: 5 by single, by all, and the 11 horse in the last race, if I can get my paperwork straightened out here, is the Dynascra for Le Peru and Tom Amos. Tom Amos is 35% off the first claim, so I think Amos with Dynascra and Le Peru is a good single the last leg.
I'm using most of the horses you mentioned in the first leg. Great Minds, Notability have shown some ability on turf, so I think those are must-uses. Bourbon Sense, Joyful Moments also. I'd also throw in the 1 Identity Crisis, so I'd use 5 in there. I'm going to use 4 in the next leg. Diamond Creek is kind of the shaky pick, but no real strong opinions. Lucky Flow, the 8, the 5 Dangerous Dream, the 4 Oddity are the other ones that I threw in. Single Bayern, obviously in between those 2 races in the 8th. And then in the 10th race, I'm using Dynascra, Lucky Pursuit, the 4, the 8 Tap It Quick, and the 1A Golden Shiner, if he should draw in, I'm going to use as well, but has to draw into the race. So it's 5 by 4 by 1 by 4 for my late pick 4 on the Saturday card at Churchill Downs. Now, next week, we'll have a podcast for the Oaks Day, and then I think podcasts on Saturday for Derby Day for all the stakes races, just to fantastic couple of days of racing at Churchill Down. So make sure you tune in our In the Money podcasts here, and at KeenelandSelect.com you have a lot of blogs where you can get a lot of different thoughts on picks and kind of factor that into your own wagering strategy as you prepare for a big day on Kentucky Derby Day and really Kentucky Oaks Day as well. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom
remember,
Leach.
Tom,
Yes.
remember, Tom, the post time on Saturday is 6 p.m. They run night racing the first opening.
Great point.
Opening
Yes.
night. So it's 6 p.m. and I think Derby Trial goes off somewhere close to 9:30, 10 o'clock. And it's also the debut of that huge TV on the backside. So they've got this 4K TV that's supposed to be ultra high definition. It's supposed to be incredible. Looks like a drive-in movie from I-64, they say. So Churchill's going to roll out some big changes here for Derby week. So it's going to be an interesting night of racing at Churchill Downs on Saturday.
And if you're going to the blue-white game for the University of Kentucky football team, it starts at 3:30, so it'll be done in time to get back out to Keeneland or get to KeenelandSelect.com for the racing. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach. That's the In the Money podcast for Saturday, April the 26th at KeenelandSelect.com.